What's up YouTube? It's Ken again. Thanks for stopping back by the channel. In this video, I am replacing these old center rollers on my sliding doors for my 2005 Odyssey EXL. It's 2025. I think these are original. And I wasn't really sure if I needed to replace them. This came off of the driver's side door. This is for the passenger side door. I already replaced this one, of course. And I'll do this one on video. But yeah, they were due. This is really loose and wobbly here. You can see that here. Whereas this is not loose at all. These are very firm, completely intact, and ready to be replaced. And the difference is very noticeable. While I've seen some where these are broken off and then you actually have a hard time opening the door, mine just doesn't open well. Here's the part number for one of them. And here's the other one. It's a good idea to replace these in pairs, I think. If you have one going bad, might as well replace the other. One quick disclaimer before I get started. This is my method. There are others. Just use all of the steps that I'm performing in this video if you're following along at your own discretion and use your own judgment. And here's a demonstration of the before. You can kind of hear it clunking a little bit. It's also really hard to open. Now I have the power door feature off while I demonstrate this. It does slide, it does roll, but it is stiff. And you can, I don't know if you can pick that up on camera, but it clunks. And again, it's really hard to open. I actually have the door panel off because I'm working on another issue, the rear door latch. I'll probably have posted that one first. I just haven't put it together yet in this video. While I'm in here, I'm tackling more with it apart. That screw right there has to come off. And I'm using a long Phillips screwdriver for that, specifically a PH2x6. Our next step is to remove these covers on the rear taillight. These are 8mm bolts, and I like to use a small 1/4" ratchet on them. I had this one in there pretty good, and what I did to get it out was just to pry right here. You gotta be careful so you don't break anything. These right here can just be squeezed, and then they slide out. It's hard to get that on camera. Casualty. We're good. It fell. This is the next thing to come off, 10mm bolt. Now this piece right here can just slide that way, and on the other side I just brought it back through this way. But basically the front plate that we unscrewed is kind of angled in like this. So you want to slide it that way first, and move it off to the side a bit, and then bring it back. You can manipulate the door if you're getting stuck. I discovered that doing this on the other side. I have this jack outfit right here with a puck, and it actually fits perfectly into the groove on the underside of this door. I'm going to get it to where it's supporting the door, and also I like to have just a milk crate sitting off to the side as well, just in case something falls, or if this bleeds down. It's not the most reliable jack in the world, but haven't had any issues before with that, just for insurance. All right, and there's that setup. The jack is just supporting the door. I pumped it just to where it's tight and holding it basically. And here's the center roller. I am going to mark on the profile of the side with a Sharpie here, just to indicate where it was before. I'm going to scribe along the top as well, just so that I line it back up to where it was, or at least close to where it was. It does have a bit of play, so I did find that helpful. Picked up that tip from another video. Now these two bolts are 12 mils, and that back one's a little tricky to get to. I didn't actually have a problem getting to it with my 1/4" ratchet and just not using a deep socket, but your mileage may vary. You might need a 12mm box wrench or open-ended wrench to get to it. And now I'm going to loosen up these bolts. This was in here kind of like so. You just tilt it and bring it out. I'm actually really glad I'm replacing this because it is disintegrating on this side. One thing to note, I don't know if you're supposed to be able to do this, but I did. You can slide it, you know, back and forth. Just be careful. Don't let it bind up or snag on anything, I guess. But now what I need to do, I'm going to not be able to record this, I don't think, and do it at the same time. But I'm going to tilt the unit here. Now, I don't really care about the van aesthetically in terms of dings and scratches. There's already some damage on this side anyway, but yeah, you got to be careful or you will scratch up your van while you're maneuvering with this. I don't know if you can make that out, but you can kind of see what's going on there. You bring this over to where it's about right here, and then it'll fall down. Once you get one side out, the other side's easier. And if I'm not mistaken on the geometry, it's best if you can do it as close to the van as possible. That way you'll get as much slack as you can possibly get. And I do believe there's a little more slack that you can pull from either side if you have to. But just be careful, you don't want to break these. I've actually had this cable break on my other van, this side, and it was a really big pain to get the motor out and replace it. FYI on that. I kind of lucked out. That took all of like 2 seconds. I'm holding the wrong one though. That was from the driver's side. All right, you're left with this. I am using a screwdriver to try and get the circlip out. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. Don't forget eye protection, but I'm going to try and just pry it up and over using gloves so I don't stab myself. I've done that before. It hurts. It would still hurt, I think, if I did. But this way I can kind of hold it so it doesn't go flying. Oh, there it goes, I think. Yeah. All right, that's out. Now the real fun begins here. I just used a hammer. You could use a dead blow, I guess. I don't know if that was effective in my application, but we'll try it first. And you just hammer it. I put it in a vise before, but I'm going to try without doing that. These have been on there 200,000 miles, 20 years. This end here is knurled, and it was really pretty rusty in there on my other one. I don't know if using this is a good idea. I don't want to mushroom the head out, but I did it on the other one, so there we go. And then on the other one, what I had to do, and I guess you could use some penetrating fluid, but I used a punch, lined it up. I'm going to do this over the edge of my workbench. Doesn't take much force at this point, but just got to get it knocked in there. A little bit more, you got to recenter it, and then it's through. But I might have to get my smaller punch, which I did on the other side too, to snake into there and get it the rest of the way out. Again, it was really rusty. There we go. All right, I'm going to try and keep the orientation the same so that I know how to put this back together. It's not that difficult though. You take a new part, and I believe it was like this, and like so with the spring inside, so it will look like that. Again, your knurled edge needs to be at the bottom, and I don't know how necessary this is, but I'm going to take a wire brush and just try and knock some of that surface rust off. I don't want to take like the paint off or make it even more rusty or lose the bolt. And then this is just some silicone lube. Again, not sure how necessary that is. I'm going to take these gloves off now. I'm done with it. Get that kind of lubricated. Line it up. And then fight with it a bit to get it in there. It's not too bad though. All right, and then once you get it in and it's ready to be popped in, you take your hammer, bottom it out, and find your circlip. And I'm going to pop that back in. And there we go. What I did too, again, unsure of the necessity of this, but I took some needle nose and I just tried to recrimp it by squeezing on the ends here. I mean, I figure you're not hurting anything. And at best, maybe you're getting that circlip on there a little bit tighter because we had to loosen it up to get it out. Made me feel better. I don't know if it does anything. All right, back onto the van. Okay, well that took way too long. So I think it's important to have this actually inside the channel here. And then on the other side, you want to make sure that the cable is actually inside the track. That's important as well. What I did to get this in, it was not easy. I actually put this one in first, and then I pulled that with my left hand while I was holding the cable on the other side with my right. And it was, of course, about here. So I pulled the roller. I kept it about as close to the track as I could, and then popped in the other side, pivoted it, and you have to make sure that it's in just right so it goes all the way up. So even if you get it on there halfway and you're lined up with that hole to get the cable up, you might still be a little cockeyed. You have to make sure that cylinder is oriented properly before you can pop it in. It's just very difficult, hurts the hands. Not fun, but the results are nice. And it is much better. So here's the after. No creaking. All right, I'm gonna put that piece of trim back on that covers up the cable area, and then the lights, and I'm gonna button it all up. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you wanna support the channel even further, please do consider subscribing. And as always, please feel free to put your comments down below in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Peace.